The connection. Harold adjusted his tie, the knot feeling tighter than usual. For months, his days had been a repeating cycle of crisp shirts, polished shoes, and the forced optimism of a man half his age. At 62, his resume was a testament to a lifetime of dedication, but in every interview room, it felt more like a historical document. He was an expert, a veteran of financial strategy, but all they saw were the years. He sat across from interviewers who spoke of dynamic energy and long-term growth, their eyes glazing over as he detailed his decades of experience. "We're looking for someone who can really grow with the company," a young man had said, without a hint of irony. The handshakes were firm, the smiles were polite, but the phone calls never came. The rejections arrived as sterile emails, always thanking him for his time. Each one chipped away at his confidence, leaving him to wonder if the world he had helped build no longer had a place for him. He would sit at his kitchen table, the silence of the house amplifying the loud chorus of doubt in his mind. Yet, on a crisp autumn morning, he found himself on the train platform again, heading toward another interview he felt sure would lead nowhere. He boarded the 8:15 a.m. express, briefcase on his lap, and watched the city slide past the window, a blur of glass and steel that felt increasingly foreign. As the train pulled from a station, a woman with a cascade of dark hair and an armful of folders hurried into the seat beside him. A folder slipped, sending a flurry of papers drifting to the floor. "Oh, honestly," she muttered, a sigh of pure frustration escaping her. "Allow me," Harold said, his voice calm as he bent to help her. He gathered the documents, balance sheets, profit and loss statements, projections. He instinctively sorted them into a neat pile before handing them to her. "Looks like you're having a busy morning." She laughed, a tired but genuine sound. "You could say that. I'm Eleanor. I own a small logistics company, and my financial manager just quit. I'm trying to prepare for a board meeting, but honestly, these numbers are starting to look like a foreign language." A spark ignited in Harold's chest. "For 40 years, that language was my native tongue," he said, a real smile reaching his eyes for the first time in months. "I'm Harold. I manage financial departments. Or, at least, I used to." Eleanor stared at him, her eyes wide with disbelief and then dawning hope. "You're joking." When he shook his head, she made a decision. "Where is your interview?" He told her the address. "Cancel it," she said, pulling out her phone. "My office is 2 stops from here. I have a much better proposition for you." 2 hours later, Harold was not in an interview. He was in a bright, busy office, a warm mug of coffee in his hand, pointing out a critical flaw in the quarterly budget. He wasn't just a candidate, he was a colleague. The 8:15 a.m. train hadn't just taken him across town, it had carried him back to where he belonged.